Hello and welcome to QuickTale English. Today we share a romantic fantasy story about a love that crossed more than 100 years, different times. In London, 1888, lived Elara. She was a quiet young woman who loved to paint. She lived in a small, comfortable house with a big old mirror in her bedroom. The mirror had a dark wooden frame and a strange, quiet look. Elara often sat by it, drawing. In London 2025 lived Liam. He was a historian who worked at the city library. He loved old books and history. His apartment was modern, but he owned one old piece of furniture, a large, dark wooden mirror that looked like an antique. He bought it cheaply from an old shop. One night, Liam went to sleep and had a very strange, clear dream. He was not in his room. He was looking at a dark bedroom with the woman sitting next to a gas lamp. He saw the same mirror, but the room was different. "Hello?" Liam whispered in the dream. The woman, Elara, looked up, surprised. She saw a man in the mirror who was not a reflection. He was clear, real, and wearing very strange clothes, a t-shirt and jeans. "Who are you?" Elora asked, her voice soft and confused. "You are not my reflection. You are so real." And so, their impossible conversations began. Elara and Liam discovered the truth quickly. They were separated by more than a century. The old mirror was a magical window that only opened when they were asleep at the same time. Liam told Elara about the future, the tall glass buildings, the cars without horses, the small telephones that could talk to anyone in the world. Elara told Liam about the quiet streets, the gas lamps, and the very long dresses. They talked every night, sharing their different worlds. They saw each other, they laughed, and they fell deeply in love. It was a beautiful but impossible romance. "I wish I could touch your hand, Elara," Liam said one night. "But there is 100 years of glass between us." "I know, Liam," Elara replied sadly, "but your voice is here now. That is enough for today." Liam, the historian, decided to look for Elara in the archives. He wanted to know her history. He spent weeks searching old newspapers and city records from the 1880s. One cold afternoon, he found a record. It was a newspaper article from December 1890, reporting a terrible fire that destroyed an entire block of houses on Elara Street. He read the list of people who died. On the list, he saw the name, Elara M., age 20. Liam felt cold. It was the correct address. It was the correct name. Elara would die in 2 years. Their dream time was not eternal. It had an end date written in history. The next night, Liam looked at Elara in the mirror. She was smiling. He had to tell her the truth. "Elara, I found something in the history books. Something bad." Elara's smile disappeared when she heard the news. She cried, but Liam held his hand up to the glass. "We must not let this happen. We must fight history. We must change the past." Their goal was simple: prevent the fire that would start in the neighboring house on the night of December 5th, 1890. They only had 2 years to prepare. Liam, using his knowledge from 2025, became Elara's guide. He found the old architectural blueprints of her house in the archives. Elara. The history book says the fire started because of a broken chimney in the house next door, Liam instructed one evening. You must talk to Mr. Davis. Tell him the chimney is dangerous. Tell him you hear a strange noise. Elara tried. She spoke to Mr. Davis, but he was an old, stubborn man. He laughed at her. Nonsense, girl. My house is fine. They needed a stronger plan. Liam knew the precise construction of her house. Elara, you have a small space under the stairs. On the night of the fire, the ceiling will fall quickly. You must place strong pieces of wood in that space to support it. That space is your only possible escape route when the house is full of smoke. Elara, the artist, had to become a builder. She quietly moved wood from the shed and worked every day, hiding the new pieces under the staircase. She was working for her life, guided by a ghost from the future. The day came, December 5th, 1890. It was a freezing night. Elara could not sleep. She sat by the mirror, waiting. Liam was also awake in 2025, looking at his old mirror, full of fear. Elara, are you ready? Liam asked, his face stressed. I am ready, Liam, she whispered. I did everything you told me. At 1 a.m., the mirror flickered. They both heard the noise, a loud crack, then a sound like dry wood burning quickly. The fire had started next door. It's starting, Liam, Elara shouted, jumping up. The smell of smoke was already in her room. Stay calm, Elara. Listen to me, Liam commanded. The smoke will come from the windows. Do not go to the main door. Go to the kitchen and take the wet blankets. Cover your mouth and nose. Elara ran, her heart pounding. She found the blankets and followed his voice. Now the stairs. The fire is moving to the roof. The main stairs are dangerous. Go to the small utility door in the kitchen, the small one we talked about. Elara followed the narrow path, now using the small door she had secretly prepared. She could see flames through the walls. The staircase is collapsing, but your support wood is there. Go under the staircase, quickly. Liam was shouting now, his voice full of desperation. Elara crawled into the space under the staircase. The ceiling above her collapsed with a deafening noise, but the structure held because of the wood she placed. The space was full of smoke, but she was safe from the falling wood. The back door, Elara, it is heavy. Use the old metal rod. Push it. Elara pushed the heavy door with the rod. It opened with a hard sound, and she fell out into the cold, wet night air. She was outside. She was alive. She looked back at her burning house and cried tears of relief. Liam saw her face, wet and dirty, but alive, looking back through the mirror. You did it, Elara. You broke history. The connection suddenly broke. The mirror went dark. Liam woke up in 2025. He was sweating and his heart was racing. The antique mirror in his modern apartment was just a mirror. He immediately turned on his computer and checked the city archives. He typed the address of Elara Street and the date, December 5th, 1890. The history books had changed. The article now read, "The Great Fire of December 1890 was contained quickly due to an alert resident. Only 2 structures were seriously damaged. Elara M. was rescued unhurt and moved to a new home." He did it. He changed the past. But what happened to his present? Liam jumped out of bed. He rushed to Elara's old street. The old houses were gone, replaced by modern buildings. One building was a small, charming bookstore. He walked inside. A woman was sitting behind the counter, reading a large, old book. She looked up and smiled. She had Elara's eyes, Elara's beautiful, kind face. "Hello," Liam said, his voice catching. "Hello," she replied. "Can I help you find something? We have a special section on London history." "I am looking for a mirror," said Liam, smiling now. "A very old, dark wooden mirror." She laughed, a sound he knew well from his dreams. "I don't sell furniture, but my name is Elara. I own this shop. Welcome. I feel like I know you somehow. Have we met before?" He looked at her, his real Elara, living in his time because he fought the past. He walked closer, across the space that was no longer 100 years wide, and replied, "Only in a very long, very important dream." Thank you for joining QuickTale English. Subscribe for more romantic fantasy stories and continue practicing your B1 English. See you next time.